What's good, YouTube? It's your boy D-Rip. Hey, today we got another special video. Today we're going to be reacting to 14 WWE wrestlers that nearly died in the ring. First time, congrats, make sure I go hit that thumbs up. Make sure y'all subscribe because your boy is almost at 5K. You already know the goal is to get 5K before December. If we get 5K before December, we will step foot in a actual wrestling ring and do some training. So continue to subscribe, continue to show the support. Appreciate y'all. But hey, let's see what wrestlers nearly died in a ring.
Know that wrestling is dangerous, but most don't realize just how life-threatening being a wrestler can be.
Oh, yo, I ain't gonna lie though. I don't remember watching this live. I didn't see this live, right? I didn't see this clip live at all. I was just sitting one day. I was like, what happened to Big E? Because I kept seeing a New Day with no Big E. So I'm like, what happened to Big E? So I decided to search it. I was like, okay, let me see what happened to Big E, bro. So I finally searched it, and I kept seeing it kept saying Big E breaks neck, as you know, when you start typing something, it pops up, you know. So it popped up. So I'm like, what is it? And then I seen this. He literally got dropped shit on his head, bro. But it's probably gonna be in the video, so we're gonna see.
Triple H suffered an injury so severe that he wouldn't have lived to see his wedding. The Game was one of 6 men who competed in the first Elimination Chamber match in 2002. At one point, Triple H was on the mat and RVD performed the 5-star frog splash. Of course, being Van Dam, he took it a step further and climbed on top of one of the pods. There wasn't enough space for RVD to fully stand up though, so Mr. Monday Night had to crouch. Due to the awkward position, Rob Van Dam's knee accidentally landed on Triple H's throat. The blow caused Triple H to stop. He began blocking his airway, and the Game was in danger of being unable to breathe. Thanks to having a thick neck and just plain luck, the King of Kings not only survived, but finished the match. He did, however, stay at a local hospital overnight and was out of action for a few weeks.
It was only afterwards when I found out.
Oh my gosh, I never noticed that. I watched that match so many times.
How badly he was hurt with his throat. Thank God that he was able to walk out of the ring and able to continue the match once again.
The Titus World Slide is a hilarious moment, but this causes people not to realize just how much danger Titus O'Neil was in. The primetime player's head was inches away from hitting one of the metal supports.
Oh, that is true.
Had the skull collide at the speed he was going, this would not have been a laughing matter. Kalisto almost died before he made it to WWE.
Oh my gosh.
While he was an independent wrestler, Kalisto was wrestling a match in Mexico. The luchador performed a move to the outside, but hit the guardrail and landed on the concrete floor. Kalisto was seriously injured, but thankfully he didn't die. He did, however, suffer from post-concussion syndrome and nearly quit wrestling because of the accident. Eddie Guerrero and JBL's match at Judgment Day in 2004 goes down as one of the bloodiest in WWE history. About 15 minutes into the match, JBL did this.
Oh my gosh, I remember that clip. That literally might be one of the most brutal chair shots, other than The Rock and Mankind. I think that right there is top 5 most brutal chair shots of all time. And we need to find a video of just straight chair shots. We need to find one. If y'all can find one, send it to me. But that right there is definitely top 5. Because that right there was straight. And I'm sure he probably caught the lip of the chair too.
JBL did this.
He did.
Despite what it seems, the chair shot was not the reason Eddie Guerrero got busted open. Eddie, like all wrestlers who bleed, used a small razor blade to cut himself open. However, Eddie accidentally cut himself too deep, causing an excessive amount of bleeding. It was so severe that once the match ended, Eddie went backstage and collapsed. Latino Heat was then rushed to the hospital, where doctors treated him. At the 2018 Survivor Series, the Raw...
I don't know, because that chair shot was hard, so I'm sure he probably really needed that, because he might have sustained some brain damage from that. That chair shot was pretty hard. JBL ain't no little dude.
World Champion Brock Lesnar was set to face the SmackDown World Champion AJ Styles. Lesnar and Paul Heyman appeared on Raw to talk about the match, but were interrupted.
Speaking of Paul Heyman, how y'all feel about Paul Heyman showing up to NXT with Braun Breaker being in his corner? How y'all feel about that? If you saw that. If you didn't, yes, Paul Heyman came to NXT and was in the corner of Braun Breaker.
By Jinder Mahal and Samir and Sunil Singh. Mahal and the Bollywood boys wanted to help the Beast relax and prepare for his pay-per-view match. Brock Lesnar didn't go for it and ended up attacking the trio. However, the situation went from fun to scary when Lesnar took Sunil Singh to Suplex City. Sunil landed on head and bounced off the ring. After a few tense seconds,
You're too light.
Sunil for a second German suplex, and Sunil made sure to protect his neck. Luckily, Sunil wasn't badly hurt, but the wrestlers backstage were upset at Brock Lesnar for the potential life-threatening accident.
Oh my gosh, he did it again?
And most exciting to watch, but one mistake can have disastrous results. In 2004, Paul London took on Akio, aka Jimmy Wang Yang. London went for a kick, but Yang caught him and flipped his opponent into the air. However,
oh my gosh.
London was too close to the ropes and his feet caught them. This caused London to land headfirst on the mat. It looked bad, but Paul London somehow was able to continue the match. This is kind of sickening to watch. In 2001, Christian turned on Edge and ended one of the most iconic tag teams in WWE history. This began a series of matches between the two, one of which was a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship.
Speaking of Edge, how y'all feel about Edge and AEW? My bad, not Edge. My bad. My AEW fans. What is it? Adam Copeland? How you feel about that? I thought Edge would be a for lifer in WWE. I thought he was a for lifer, but I mean, he got the opportunity to work with Christian again, so I'm sure he wanted to do that because Christian probably wasn't going to end his contract with AEW anytime soon. So, I mean, you kind of can't blame him for wanting to work with his best friend, but I just thought he was a for lifer with WWE.
Championship. Edge and Christian were two innovators of the ladder match, but they may have taken things too far. To end the fight, Edge gave Christian a concerto on top of a ladder. That wasn't your internet having trouble. WWE has actually edited out the chair shot in some versions of this match. The chair shot gave Christian one of the worst concussions of his career, and it's a miracle he didn't have lasting damage. Knowing what that chair shot did makes it even more disturbing to see Christian's lifeless body fall to the mat afterward. Seth Rollins' career and life nearly came to an end in a matter of seconds. In 2004, Roman Reigns was facing Randy Orton in the main event of Raw. Orton was part of the Authority, so Seth Rollins and Kane ran out to help their teammate.
Why Kane running like that, bro? Hold on. Why Kane was running like that? He said.
Orton was part of the Authority.
He was running like that.
And Kane ran out.
It's like he don't know what to do.
During that,
like he got to the show late, and they told him to just run to the ring. That's what it looked like.
A steel cage started to be lowered around the ring. Seth tried to get inside the ring right as
he almost hit the spike.
Into place. Rollins could have easily been pierced and squashed by the cage, but Seth moved out of the way at the last moment. This next match got so bad that Vince McMahon ordered that it be stopped. At King of the Ring 2001, Kurt Angle fought Shane McMahon in a While Angle got hurt pretty badly, it was Shane who was at the risk of losing his life. The big spot of the match was Kurt Angle
right on his neck
and crashing through the glass panels near the entrance stage. To perform the stunt,
the glass didn't break,
which breaks easily. However, that's not what got used. There was a mistake in production, and the panels were made of plexiglass, which is much tougher. When Kurt threw Shane, the glass didn't break, and Shane's head hit the floor. Being true professionals,
I don't like seeing that.
Painting the glass until it finally broke, but Shane's life was at risk. Vince McMahon realized his son might die and told the referee to tell Shane and Kurt to stop. Shane was loopy though, and he couldn't understand the message the referee was relaying. Thankfully, Shane ended up being okay, but he was taken to the hospital after the match. Only a few months after debuting on the main roster, Shinsuke Nakamura found himself facing off against John Cena. This should have been an awesome match against two amazing wrestlers, but it's best remembered for one moment. To end the fight, Shinsuke hit an inverted exploder suplex.
That's why I don't like those moves.
He accidentally landed on his head and could have broken.
That's why I don't like those moves like that. And I remember somebody in the comments, it was one of my old videos, somebody in the comments was saying, these wrestlers are professionals and they train their necks for those falls. I don't care how much you train your neck, bro. That right there can end your career and you can be in a wheelchair for the rest of your life, bro. Like, I understand they're professionals. Cool. Got it. Yes, they are professionals. But you can't control your body at full speed landing on your neck. You can't control your body. I don't care how much training you're doing. I don't care how strong your core is. You can't train your neck for that. I just don't like certain moves that cause you to land on your neck like that.
Broken his neck. Luckily, that didn't happen, and John Cena wasn't even injured. The match ended as planned, but reports surfaced that people backstage were mad at Nakamura for the near-death mistake. In the weeks leading up to the 1999 Royal Rumble, a special Rumble match was held on Raw. Members of the corporation and DX would compete, with the winner getting the number 30 spot in the Royal Rumble match. Vince McMahon entered himself into the match, and it looked like the chairman of WWE had won. That was until the final entrant, China, marched towards the ring. Thanks to a distraction, China was able to throw throw McMahon out of the ring. As Vince McMahon's head caught the bottom rope and snapped violently.
Oh my gosh.
The chairman lay lifeless afterward, but thankfully it wasn't serious. However, Vince could have easily broken his neck due to the botch. CM Punk
Wow. I'm sorry I keep pausing him, but that right there is crazy.
almost died before even making it to WWE. In 2002, while competing as an independent wrestler, Punk was having a match against an opponent named Reckless Youth. A freak accident occurred and Punk fractured his skull. Punk said that when it happened, he felt like someone had poured warm water inside his brain. Despite this, Punk continued to wrestle and finished the match. However, he had to use a chair in order to leave the ring. Once backstage, Punk collapsed and couldn't open his eyes. Punk was taken to the hospital where he was told this.
He immediately told me that, like, you've seen people with lesser fractures die.
Despite the seriousness of the injury, CM Punk refused to take any medicine due to his straight edge beliefs. Instead, Punk spent a month resting at a family member's home, which did allow him to get back into the ring eventually.
Wait a minute. I understand you straight edge, but there gotta be a boundary or something. Because if you're straight edge, yes, no drug, no alcohol, but some of these drugs are drugs because they're extreme painkillers. And if they had to give me an extreme painkiller, even with me being straight edge, I might have to take it. I might have to take that extreme painkiller. Especially like being in the hospital or even coming out of the hospital, they give me some prescriptions or whatever. You got to take it. There's no way you're dealing with all this pain, not taking no kind of medicine at all. You've been wrestling for years and you took not a single medicine? No, that's not. There's no way. You just ice your body and then that's it. No. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe it. You have a skull, what he said, not a skull fracture, but almost brain injury. And you telling me you don't want to take no freaking nothing to help you with your pain. I don't believe it.
The TLC pay-per-view is one of the most brutal events WWE has each year, so it shouldn't be surprising that the show has had some near-death experiences. During the first Tables, Lives, and Chairs pay-per-view in 2009, Chris Jericho and The Big Show took on Shawn Michaels and Triple H. The final moment of the match saw HBK hit Big Show with Sweet Chin Music, causing Chris Jericho to fall to the outside.
Oh my gosh!
To fall through the table through the floor to lessen the impact. What happened instead was Jericho's head landed right on the edge of the table. It looked painful, but nobody thought it was life-threatening. However, in 2020, a fan shared the clip on Twitter. Chris Jericho responded and revealed the accident nearly cost him his life. The Undertaker has come close to death multiple times in his career.
Yes.
Like when he dived headfirst to the outside at WrestleMania.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels, 25, yep.
Or when he got burned by his own pyro. The one incident that Taker has publicly admitted that he was inches away from dying happened near the end of his career. At Super Showdown 2019, The Undertaker took on Goldberg in what was supposed to be a dream match, but ended up being a nightmare. The first major problem was when Goldberg hit his head on the ring post, causing him to bleed. Unfortunately, that wasn't the only painful accident that happened. Later on, Goldberg went to hit his iconic jackhammer, but the move fell apart, and Undertaker came crashing down on his head. It looked bad, and Undertaker would later explain how close to dying he was.
I was 2 inches away from making my wife a widow, my kids fatherless.
This incident actually resulted in a move getting banned from WWE. To find out which move.
That's crazy. We watched the banned moves video last week. If y'all want to go see that video, just listen to my videos from last week. So make sure y'all subscribe. I told you on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays I record. And I don't record all those videos in those days, but I post those videos that day. So make sure y'all tap in, man. Turn that notifications on. Like I always say, man, like the video, subscribe if you do. Let me know what y'all been reacting next. It's your boy D River, man. I'm out.